All right. Welcome to this empowering morning breath work routine. Start by sitting down with an upright posture. We will be doing 3 rounds in through the nose, out through the mouth at 2 different speeds, like this. Just follow along to the rhythm of the music and the rhythm of my breath. We'll begin with round 1 in 3, 2, 1. All right, 3 more. 2. Last one, fully in, hold. Let it out in 3, 2, 1. Be still and be focused. Take a big inhale in 3, 2, 1. And hold. Let it out in 3, 2, 1. Very good. Get ready for round number 2. 3, 2, 1. All right, last one. Double the speed. Three, 2, last one fully in and hold. Let it out in 3, 2, 1. Remain calm, remain still, remain focused. All right, inhale in 3, 2, 1, fully in, hold, squeeze. Let it out in 3, 2, 1. Get ready for round number 3. We'll begin in 3, 2, 1. Powerful breath in, let it out. Inhale, out. All right, last one, double speed. 3, 2, last one fully in, hold. Let it out, 3, 2, 1. Our time is limited here. We don't know when we will take our last breath, but we do know that we're all here for a reason. So take this focused energy and kindness in your heart and go on with the rest of your day, doing what needs to be done. Take a big energizing breath in and hold. Let it out in 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Well done. If there is something that you've been putting off for a while, or that you're scared to do, there's no better time than now. Tomorrow might not be here. So enjoy the rest of your day with this focused, creative energy. Remember to breathe. Remember to laugh. Peace.
Hello. Good morning, everybody. So also, I've never really shared who I listen to every morning. This is Breathe with Sandy on YouTube. So if you guys would like to engage as well, he does guided breath work, which is amazing. I do breath work every morning, and most times every night before bed. I have studied multiple multimillionaires and billionaires who have said that they do breath work and cold plunges in order to relax the nerves. So the reason why they want to relax the nerves is because when it comes to big decision making, a lot of people move in fear. In order to remove that fear and anxiety from the mind, they do breath work in order to relax the nerves. So I do that as well in order to make a better life for me. All right. So I am going to discontinue the share right now. And does anyone have a Bible verse to share? I just want to acknowledge our Ella this morning. Look at this. Oh, it's a time for praise and worship. Yes, it is. Thank you. Good morning. All right. Let me know if anybody has a Bible scripture that they'd like to share with us this morning. If not, I'll find something random to pull.
I have one.
Mm-hmm.
It's through my Bible app. It's Romans 5, verse 1. Oh.
I love me some Romans. Romans 5. Okay. Let me know when everybody gets there. Say ace when you get there.
So verse 1 through 5.
Okay. All right. Romans chapter 5, verse 1 through 5. Say ace when we are there. And I'll start reading. Or Kevin, would you like to read it?
Sure.
Okay, cool. So everyone ready?
Or if you can't say ace, just type it in the chat. Can you go ahead?
Swimming. So, and Kevin, did I make you host in here? Or co-host, excuse me?
I'm not sure.
Let me see. I guess I'll worry about it afterwards because I don't see it right now.
Okay.
All right. Let me get my glasses.
I'll go ahead and start.
Okay, I'm ready.
Romans chapter 5, verse 1 through 5.
Hey, hold on 1 second. Junior and Callie, if y'all can't be quiet, please, in the room until I'm done. Okay, I'm ready.
Mm-hmm. Therefore, since we have been justified through faith, we have peace with God through our Lord Jesus Christ, through whom we have gained access by faith into this grace in which we now stand. And we boast in the hope of the glory of God. Not only so, but we also glory in our sufferings, because we know that suffering produces perseverance. Perseverance, character, and character, hope. And hope does not put us to shame, because God's love has been poured out into our hearts through the Holy Spirit who has been given to us.
So beautiful. Do you mind if I share my version?
Go ahead.
It says, therefore, having been declared right by belief, we have peace with Elohim through our Master Yeshua Messiah, through whom also we have access by belief into this favor in which we stand, and we exalt in the expectation of the esteem of Elohim. And not only this, but we also exult in pressures, knowing that pressure works endurance, and endurance, approvedness, and approvedness, expectation. And expectation does not disappoint because the love of Elohim has been poured out in our hearts by the set apart spirit, which was given to us. So I like all of those words. So I just wanted to include those words too. Beautiful words.
Yes.
In both versions. What does it mean to you?
Verse 3 and verse 4 really stand out to me. It says there's glory in our sufferings. When we go through stuff and like through hard times in life, it's not for no reason. Something always come out of it. Okay, it produces perseverance, and when we have perseverance, it builds our character. And when it builds our character, it brings out hope. Okay, and hope does not put us to shame because God's love has been poured out into our hearts through the Holy Spirit. It's just reassurance that whatever it is that we're going through, whatever it is that we're trying to achieve, eventually it will happen. We just gotta have the hope. We just gotta have the perseverance to push through the good and the bad, especially when the bad show up. So that's just reassurance from me this morning.
For sure. Anyone else able to share? I know some are at work. If you can share, please share in the chat. For me, the same thing. Like, starting with like your version said suffering, right? Pressure was what mine says. And
what does it say?
Mine says pressure.
Oh.
And again, just with both ways, it shows again with suffering, it does push you into pressure. You go into pressure because, like, just to relate personally, when I was going through much suffering, it caused me to say, okay, I gotta press myself. I have to put myself under pressure. Excuse me 1 second. Can you please close your door? Come on, guys. I do this every morning. I homeschool my kids, so when they are, on the live, they get excited and they want to do their own sharing. One day, maybe I'll bring them in to talk since they like to talk so much in my live. Okay, so it put me under pressure, and so like when it came to finances, like I kept moving in fear at first until finally I'm like, this is a pattern. This is a bad pattern that I keep experiencing when I move in fear. I keep rushing to try to make this quick money. And I keep barely making ends meet. And now at the end of the month, I'm back at square one. I'm living in this cycle of anxiety, trying to figure out how I'm going to pay my bills. And like, well, if I'm doing it now, moving in fear, rushing around, why not just let go? So I can definitely relate to, like, from pressure, it works endurance. So it put me into the endurance of this. Like, you know what? Hey, I'm going to try something new. I'm going to show up and, see who can help me out. So that's why I say, like, we're a big team and y'all help me stay consistent because I know that y'all are, as long as y'all showing up, it gives me a reason to show up as well. And the expectation of that is what gives me the hope of, like, okay, we're going to do this. Like, we're going to get this mindset going together and it's going to lead us into really big things. It's very motivational.
It is.
Okay, so we're going to do something a little bit different this morning before we start reading, and we're going to do accountability. It does seem like, unfortunately, our team, they're occupied right now, so it's only me and you right now. So that's okay. Yeah. Oh, okay. Did you hear the verse? E, would you like to share?
No, I didn't.
Okay. You want to read it?
Romans 1 verse 5, right?
Yep, Romans 5, 1 through 5. And definitely share.
Okay, therefore, since we have been justified through faith, we have peace with God through our Lord Jesus Christ, through whom we have gained access by faith into this grace in which we now stand. And we boast in the hope of the glory of God. Not only so, but we also glory in our suffering because we know that suffering produces perseverance. Perseverance. Perseverance, character, hope. And hope does not put us to shame because God's love has been poured out into our hearts through the Holy Spirit who has been given to us. Amen. Okay. So my takeaway is that by our faith, we have peace. God promised us peace. But with the peace, we're gonna suffer. We're gonna, go through life. Because you know how some people are like, oh, when things happen to us, why this is happening to me? It's just God building. How He's holding us to receive our blessings we have, the blessing we have in store for us. And yeah, and of course the character built by character. We know that we can handle this. So next time around, this won't be nothing if we go through something like this.
100%. 100%. Okay, so so let's do our accountability. So basically, we are speaking on the appointments that we've set up, some calls that we made or have to make, some numbers that we've gotten. Let's talk about that a little bit and share some of that to motivate the team.
Well, I helped an individual, just by saying and sharing, how powerful what we do is, I give them some education about, leaving a legacy business or having something in place. Because when they're promising people with these 401ks that they're going to expire, it's going to do this, and this person is at retirement age and she's still working. And when I start with her, she has no, she doesn't see herself retiring anytime soon. And that actually, wow, that's hurt. It hurts because you spend your whole life working and continue working because you were under the impression that your 401k is going to retire. And here you are working during your retirement. So it just motivates me to really talk to everybody, no matter if you're young, old, or whatever you got going on. Especially with the kids, we don't want to keep creating this generation where our kids' offspring are going to experience what we're experiencing. We're trying to give them what we didn't have, which is the knowledge and the tools.
Hold on a second. Sorry. Something else. Decision is my live does not contain the content mentioned in this notice. Somebody done put that my live was flagged for hate speech on TikTok.
What?
Crazy. Okay. Yeah, haters. I don't know who over here talking junk. Right, all of that was so motivational. Anyways, okay. So, right. But yeah, I for sure agree with everything you said. So it doesn't matter what age, and the best we can do is just apply, put in the application.
What?
We can save so many lives for that, and so many financial hardships for that as well. Kaylin, do you have something to share?
And I just want to add one more thing to that. We might sit here and think during the application, oh, this person got this person got that, this mess, they're doing that. Don't let that discourage you, because if you read your underwriting guidelines for these companies, it will show you that what we think they won't get approved for, they actually consider it. They'll consider it. As long as you still have a clean bill of health, you're not hospitalized and going through whatever it is with the sickness, it's manageable. If it's being managed, you're fine. They will get approved for it.
That's right.
Because I used to get oh, she had a stroke like 10 years ago. I'm like, oh, she's taking 20 medications. They have to approve her. All they need is the doctor's APS and their the list of medications. And if their blood pressure or cholesterol is within a certain parameter, which when I looked at the parameter, they were high. They were high. So I'm like, shoot, they're dead. When the people think they have high blood pressure, they're like 138 over 42. That's normal for some of these companies. So I just wanted you guys to understand that. Don't just stop and make a decision. You know, it's always good to just submit it and let the underwriting team. So that's all I think guys can go.
Kaylin? Kaylin, you busy? You're on mute if you didn't know you were on mute. Ella, you busy? So me, of course, I shared with you guys, but I have not shared on our lives about yesterday and my terrifying experience. You can hear me fine, right? Nope, I was on mute. Okay. Kaylin, you busy? Can you hear me just fine? Oh, she said, okay.
Yes, I can.
Okay. So I'm making sure you didn't want to share any accountabilities, any new numbers, any new people that you've spoken with?
Not yet.
Okay.
I'm working on that for today.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I haven't shared with the live. I shared with you guys how yesterday I was so terrified. I was absolutely terrified to speak in my church because there's a whole lot of people. It was like at least 80 people, but it had to be more. It was probably 80 to 150 people. And whole time I was so nervous, but I made sure I listened to the message. And the most beautiful, craziest part was the message was based on what I had already decided I was going to do. And that was to stand up for myself and stop living in fear. Be myself. You're meant to reign and rule on this earth. We are not here to be peasants. We are not here to be slaves. We are here to rule. And a lot of times we're so nervous to speak to people, but going and bouncing off of what he said, there's lives to save. There's people's whole financial hardship that are suffering right now, and they're slow, they're tired. They should be retired right now, and they're having to work at 70 years old because we have not sat in front of them. Why are we so afraid to help people? Why are we afraid? Because yes, there's some people that'll tell us no, but why are we so afraid of no? Because you never know who you may open your mouth up to that needs you, and you save their life. Let's say they're 35, 40. And if we didn't speak to them now, by the time they're 70, they're going to have that same story. So talk to them now and see what we can do. Because, that just feels good to me that I spoke up. And now I gave them the option. If you don't want to take advantage of this information that I have for you, knowing that I don't even charge you anything to do it, then at least I know I did my job by speaking up. So I, scared and nervous as I was, as shy as I am, I jumped up at the end of the Bible study after prayer to release, and I asked the pastors up front if I could speak on the mic. And I just grabbed, they're like, sure. And they gave me the mic, and I just, I gave a little short intro. And I was like, I'm not going to have you here long. Told them what we had going on with the event that we're doing. I said it was free, and it'll help with families and children of all ages. And I just said, hey, text Family Fund to my number, and I'll send you a flyer. So from there, I'm not going to try. I am working towards creating like some bios for all of us. So I want to get on Canva, and I want to use our business photos, and I'm going to put a bio next to it. So I want all of you to text me a short and sweet, maybe like 100, 150 characters of a short bio of who you are, what you do, and why you do it. A little bit of your background. And we're going to create some bios so that when we send these things to these people and we're inviting them places, we'll send them the flyer and we'll also send them a bio of, hey, this is our purpose. This is who we are. That way they just kind of know some more information and don't think like, okay, what are they doing? What's going on? So I'll definitely, I'm going to put it in my notes now to make sure I work on that and ask you guys individually to send that, put that in my notes. Okay, anything else before we start the 10X rule? No? Okay. All right, about to share my screen so we can all read along. If everyone can see my screen and can see it scrolling, please put a 1 in the chat. You can see my screen, please put a 1 in the chat. Perfect. All right, chapter 9. We are on chapter 9. It is called 10X Goals. I know they're cutting grass outside. Can everybody hear me okay? Hope it's not distorted too bad. I believe that one of the major reasons, let me move this out the way. I believe that one of the major reasons why people don't stick to their goals and fail to accomplish them is because they fail to set them high enough from the beginning. I have read many books. Okay, cool. I have read many books on goal setting. Lost my place because it's loud behind thing outside. Sorry, guys. I have read many books on goal setting and have even been to seminars on this topic. And I constantly see people set goals and then either never get started or bail on them. I'm gonna let them do their thing. Hopefully it's quick. I've read many books on goal setting and have even been to seminars on this topic. And I constantly see people set goals and then either never get started or bail on them. Frequently and regularly, most of us have been warned against setting goals too high. The reality is that if you start small, you are probably going to go small. People's failure to think big enough usually means they will never act big enough, often enough, or persistently enough. After all, who gets excited about so-called realistic goals? And who can stay excited about anything with an at best average payoff? This is why people begin to bail on projects when they experience any kind of resistance. Their goals are not big enough. I'm going to read that again. It said, this is why people begin to bail on projects when they experience any kind of resistance. Their goals are not big enough. So basically, y'all are bored. Y'all aren't setting goals big enough. So you leave them alone. You're not challenging yourself. To maintain your enthusiasm, you have to make your goals substantial enough that they keep your attention. Average and realistic goals are almost always a letdown to the person setting them, who is then unable to fuel his or her goals with the actions necessary. Indeed, most people are so apathetic about their goals that they only write them down once a year. As far as I'm concerned, nothing worth doing is done only once or twice a year. The things upon which your life depends most are based on the actions you take daily. That is why I make sure to always do two things. One, I write my goals down every day. And two, I choose objectives that are just out of reach. This opens me up to my full potential, which I use to fuel my action each day. Some people suggest that setting improbable goals might cause a person to become disappointed and lose interest. But if your goals are so small that you don't even need to consider them on a daily basis, then you are going to lose interest. A good idea is to word your goals as though you've already accomplished them. I keep a legal pad next to my bed so that I can record my goals first thing each morning and write before I go to bed at night. I also keep one in my office on which I record new and improved objectives. The following are examples of some of the goals I am currently working on and how I write them down. Notice that I word them as though I have already achieved each of them when I have yet to do so. I own 5,000 plus apartments that return over 12% positive cash flow. I am in perfect health and physical condition. My net worth is over $100 million. My income is over $1 million a month. I have written and published 12 or more best-selling books. My marriage is alive, healthy, and a positive model for others. I am more in love with my wife every day. I have 2 beautiful and healthy children. I have no debt except that which is paid by others. I own a beautiful home on the ocean that has no debt. I own a ranch in Colorado that has incredible views of the mountains and horses and is my ideal scene. I own companies that I am able to control from a distance and have great people working with me. My children are friends with the most powerful people on the planet. I am making a positive difference in my community and politics. I continue to create unique programs that people want and that improve the quality of others' lives. I have endless energy and interest in my career. I have a hit TV show that has been on for 5 seasons. I am one of the largest donors to my church. Keep in mind that these are some of my goals and are only being used to give an example of how I word them. Also, note that they are things that are yet to be achieved, not things that have been achieved. Average goal setting cannot and will not fuel massive 10x actions. If you approach an endeavor with average thinking, you will start to give up the moment you come up against any challenges, resistance, or less than optimal conditions, unless you have some big juicy purpose as your engine. To get through resistance, you must have a big reason to get there. The bigger and more unrealistic your goals are, and the more they're aligned to your purpose and duty, the more they'll energize and fuel your actions. For example, let's say I want to save $100 million in a bank account. Does anyone need $100 million? No, it is a goal. And the bigger and juicier it is, the more likely you will be motivated to move in that direction and through resistance. If you want to add even more energy to your goals, then make sure they are tied to something even bigger. For instance, someone who wants to earn money but doesn't have a constructive goal for what to do with it may only produce the money and then just waste it. When you are setting a goal, be sure you are clear about what you want it for, and then tie it to a greater purpose. Think massive and broad when setting your goals. Many people make money a target and set a goal to save it, but then just destroy the wealth that was created. Look at how many people just wanted to get rich, did so, and then died broke. So having goals aligned with other goals will start to actually help you. Let's say one of my goals is to save $100 million and another goal is to use that money to help my church and fund programs to improve conditions for mankind. This is an example of combining goals that will generate the fuel and horsepower to drive my actions and my goals. Kaylin, you want to start right here?
Yes. One of the first jobs I ever had was at McDonald's. I hated it. And not because it was McDonald's. I hated it because it was not lined up with my goals and purposes. The guy who worked next to me loved his job because it aligned with his goals and purposes. I was the guy making $7 an hour because I wanted some spending money. And he was the guy making $7 an hour, but who wanted to learn the business and open 100 franchises. He didn't understand why I wasn't excited, and I didn't understand why he was excited. I was fired, and when he went on to own franchises, your goals are there to fuel the actions you will need to take. So make them big and make them often, and then tie them in with your other greater purposes. Ask yourself whether the goals you have set are equal to your potential. Most people will admit that their goals are well below their potential because most of the world has been convinced, persuaded, and even educated to set small, attainable, and realistic goals. If you're a parent, I'm sure you have heard yourself suggest this to your children, or maybe you heard it from your own parents or in your work environment. Never set realistic goals. You can get a realistic life without setting goals for it. I truly despise the word realistic because it is based on what others who have probably been operating at only the first 3 degrees of action have accomplished and believe possible. Realistic thinking is based on what others think is possible, but they are not you, and have no way of knowing your potential and purposes. If you are going to set goals based on what others think, then be sure you do it based on what the giants and this planet think. They will be the first to tell you. Don't base your goals on what I have done, because you can do even more. But what if you set goals based on those of the top players in the world? Steve Jobs' goal, for instance, is to redeem the universe, to create products that forever change our planet. Look at what he has done with Apple and Pixar. If you are going to set goals comparable to those of others, then at the very least, pick the giants who have already created massive success. Many people find themselves on the path they're on simply because they're doing what other average people have done. Most people go to college not because they want to, but because they are told to go. Most people belong to the religion they belong to only because they were brought up that way. Most people speak only the language that their family speaks and never take the time to learn another language. Most of us are influenced by the decisions our parents, teachers, and friends have made, and then the limitations set by them and for us. I bet that if I asked your 5 closest associates about their goals, I'd probably be able to identify some of yours as well. You and your goals are manipulated by your surroundings. Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
I will never tell another person what his or goals should be. However, I would advise that when you do set your goals, take into account that you have been educated with restrictions. Be aware of this so that you don't underestimate the possibilities. Then take the following into account. You are setting these for you, not for everyone else. Anything is possible. 3, you have much more. Let me read it again. Number 1, you are setting these for you, not for anyone else. Number 2, anything is possible. Number 3, you have much more potential than you realize. Number 4, success is your duty, obligation, and responsibility. Number 5, there is no shortage of success. Number 6, regardless of the size of the goal, it will require work. Once you've reviewed these concepts, then sit down and write out your own goals. And then be willing to rewrite them every day until they are achieved. I'm going to start doing that.
Right.
I'm going to start doing that.
Right.
If
It's
you
real. It's real.
Yeah, I'm going to start doing that. If you underestimate your potential, then it is possible to set appropriately sized targets. Set the goals too small, and you will not gear up for the massive action necessary. I know the concept of the 10x rule is not for everyone. It is clearly not for anyone who is willing to accept average or mediocrity, or for those who prefer to kick back and settle for the leftovers. It is not for those who want to depend on hope and prayer for their success. The 10x rule is meant for the few people obsessed with creating an exceptional life and who want to be in charge of that process. The 10x rule removes the concept of luck and chance from your business equation and shows you exactly what mindset you must embrace in order to lock in massive success. Consider the following scenario. Let's say that you are setting your financial goals. In 2009, the President of the United States said that people who make $225,000 should be considered rich. Keeping with the current trend, your tax bill will be at least $100,000, leaving you with a remaining $150,000. After you make payments on 2 cars, make a mortgage payment, pay your property taxes, and feed, clothe, and school your kids, you might have $20,000 left. If you save that money for the next 20 years, you end up with around $400,000, assuming nothing goes wrong. Now, take into account the fact that your parents, possibly both your parents and your in-laws, didn't plan their own retirement properly. They are going to outlive their savings by about 15 years, and it will depend on you to take care of them. If any of this happens, you will find out quite quickly and too late that you underestimated your financial goals and will spend more effort just trying to manage what you have created than what it took to accumulate it. And remember, in addition to taking care of your parents, you have to fund your own retirement years. Additionally, this scenario assumes no increases in the cost of living, no bad news, no emergencies, and no major events. Throw in just a little of what has happened in the last couple of years, and you will see that 90% of the population has underestimated the goals and targets necessary to fund their lifestyles, much less their life's purposes. Small thinking has and always will be punished in one way or another. We will live on a planet where the primary belief is an underestimation of everything. The best business schools in the country cite undercapitalization as one of the top reasons for companies' failures. This is caused by This is caused by a miscalculation of how much cash a company would burn through before its product caught on, and is yet another example of how average doesn't cut it. The biggest regret of my life is not the fact that I haven't worked my ass off, because I have. It's that I didn't set targets 10 times higher than what I originally thought I could accomplish from the very beginning. Why? Because my goals were influenced and limited greatly by the way I was brought up. I am not blaming anyone. It is just a fact. I spent the first 30 years of my business career getting the 10x effort part right, and will spend the next 25 years getting the 10x goal setting part right. I recommend you do the following. Number 1, you set 10x, should I say 10 times targets?
Yeah,
10x?
okay.
You set 10 times the targets. You align them with other purposes and write them down every day when you wake up and before you go to sleep. Let me take a screenshot of that.
Oh, here.
Oh, I didn't notice. Thank you. All right, our exercise. Now, the first one is write down how your upbringing has influenced your goal setting. Not thinking big enough.
Ooh, yes. My upbringing, good God, was just so regular. Like, and it's a beautiful thing that I guess it's just like, just a generational thing or something. I don't know what made me wake up and just realize I want more. Like this, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because my parents didn't, or maybe they said they did, but they didn't really go really looking for it. It was just still job after job. And I was like, I'm not working any more jobs. This isn't enough. Or if I work a job, it needs to be this much money, And every time I needed more, I would make a whole bunch. I've made 5 figures in a year. I made $10,000 a month. And I was like, this isn't enough. $10,000 a month isn't enough. So, yeah. How about you? Upbringing?
It was regular as well. Like the same old, you have 2 working parents and you're told, hey, go to school, get a degree and work. And then I'm realizing everybody around me doing the same thing and they're all still struggling for the most part. And when it's time for retirement, it's just like, yeah, where those 30, 40 years of your hard work went to?
Right.
You still got to rely on the government and hope for a Social Security check and hope for a pension. And they just hope that their 401k will carry them through. And all that hard work for nothing. So I knew I wanted more. That's why I was never satisfied with it. I've had so many jobs, even as a nurse. I was always not satisfied. I feel like what I was putting in is not what I was getting in return. Like I was not being compensated enough. So here I am. So I realized I need to think big. And now I realize why I was never satisfied. So
I get it. And it's like now it just seems like with you especially too, it's like with nursing, you wanted, you were looking for a purpose. And of course something that may pay as well, but it's like now what we're doing is even greater. It's like an even greater purpose that they're having, that we're able to keep with people and then earn even more and still have your freedom. Your freedom of time. You can take a vacation whenever you feel like it without having to get it approved.
Yeah.
That's even the best part too, because we work 25/8 most of the time, and we can take off if we need to. But working 25/8 has been the best thing of my life, like because it's my life. I get to live my lifestyle 25/8, and it's a part of my job. It's a part of who I am. It's helping people. I love it. What are some goals you would set if you knew you could achieve them?
Ooh.
That's a good one, right?
Some goals, if I knew I could achieve them, man, the bigger the better. For me, my goals, like right now, there's no cap to my goals. I believe I can achieve anything that I put myself into, like I put my mind to. So I could say, oh yeah, I want to make 100K a month, but still, there are some people making $1 million a month. You know what I mean?
Right.
So why would I put a limit to that? Why would I put a limit to that?
Listen, there's people making $1 million a freaking day.
Yeah.
Like seriously. But yeah, I'm the same way. Like, yeah, whatever I gotta do, of course I'm gonna take it, like one step at a time. Hit this goal, then I'm making it bigger. Hit this goal and I'm making it bigger for sure.
Yeah. So I think the perfect answer is any goal. It would be anything times 10. Let's put it like that. Any goal times 10. Anything it is. It could be to make more money. You time that by 10 to open a business, because it will drive your actions that you put behind that will result in you achieving those goals regardless. So if you do it times 10, you're bound to achieve those goals.
Thanks.
So
what are other goals, purposes that align with primary goals that would further fuel your actions?
Making an impact. For me, is making an impact. Making a difference in the community that I'm living in.
That's amazing. That's an amazing insight.
So, yeah, making it, for me, that's always been my purpose. Like my drive has always been to help. I want to be able to help wherever I'm at. So whenever K1 is over around, I want my hard work to speak for me. The impact I made in my community to speak for me. Hey, she was there. Yeah, she made a lot of money. Yeah, you can make a lot of money, but nobody know you. Like, what are you gonna do when you make all that money? So for me, it's impact.
I agree. And that's what I've been focusing on the most. Like, instead of worrying about my bills, worrying about my personal life, go out and help other people, and that will be resolved.
There you go.
Look for people to help. Don't look to pay your bills. The bills will get paid when you find people to help.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm learning that, okay? Look at the list of goals I wrote and find 2 things they all have in common. Look at the list of goals I wrote and find 2 things they have in common. They're huge goals, for one. What would you say the second thing that they have in common out of his list of goals?
Let's go back to it.
Yeah.
He aimed for the highest.
Yeah.
Okay. And what he was saying, he wrote them as if he's already accomplished them.
Yes.
So you have the goal, but once you read it out, he would read it out to himself. The way he wrote them is as if he's done it already.
Yes.
My income is over $1 million a month. I have written and published 12 books. I am more in love. So everything he wrote down, he's accomplished already. In his mind, he already has.
This is how I look at that when it talks about saying things in the present moment to make it make sense in my head. Is I was talking to my kids one day to explain something to them because, of course, I have to teach them like the day. Well, they of course know the days of the week, but understanding like when was yesterday and when is tomorrow. You know, like today is this. When was yesterday? When was tomorrow? And I was like, right now is today. But when we were in yesterday was today. And when and tomorrow is tomorrow, but when we get to tomorrow's going to be today. So everything really is today. Time is an illusion. Because when we talk about getting to tomorrow, once we get to tomorrow, it's not tomorrow anymore. So like, that's what I'm realizing when it says speak about things as if it's here now, because the experience that you want it here now. If you speak on it as if it's later in life, it's going to keep being later in life and it'll never come.
Yeah.
So you have to speak it into the existence that you have here, because that's all you know is here. I told someone one time, think about when you were 5 and then they started closing their eyes and started thinking. And I said, where are you going? You still are inside the same shell that was 5 years old. It just grew. So the same 40-year-old that you want to become is still going to be inside the same shell. You're not going anywhere. The eyes that you're seeing out of right now, the body that you're sitting in is going to be sitting right here, going nowhere at 40, 50, 60 years old. So that's why you're supposed to say, I am, I have, not I will and I'm going to be, because that is not you. It'll never be you. So yeah, I definitely love the, I am making this every month. I am making this every week. I am making this every day, because I think we read that before in Exodus 3:14. Yep, I am. What's God's name? I am. So if we're calling on to God to bless us, we call him the I am. I am a multimillionaire. Now I'm going to be one. That's not of you. It's not who you are. For sure. All right. So now we're going to do our 10 things that we're grateful for. Our 3 things that's bothering us. We're going to send them love. We can do them in a quick moment of silence, reading them to ourselves. And then we're going to get into our money goals. I'm going to go ahead and end the lives. So it'll just be us on here. YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. It's been real. Appreciate y'all joining in. If you like to do these things on your own, definitely do them. If you would like to join my live, they are free. You can come into the live and you can experience this uplifting with us. Okay. I will send the links in my story, and I will have the link also in my bio so that you can click on it and join in at any time. Love y'all. Peace. All right. So 10 things that we are grateful for, 3 things to send them love. We were at 99 views on our Instagram today. Woo-hoo. So we back up again. Our TikTok is 9 viewers on TikTok. And